Hey, what's up guys? So with the reprint of Roach coming out pretty soon, I've seen a lot more people play this card, and that said, there's a lot of rulings that I think we should go over because it'll help everyone out because, you know, I think a lot more players will be playing this card now that it will be in a new tin. So that said, let's go over what Roach says, and then I'll kind of explain what his effect does. So, it requires 2 level 4 monsters. When a level 5 or higher monster would be special summoned, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, negate the special summon, and destroy it. Negating the special summon means it never hits the field. So just like Solemn Judgment, the card would never hit the field. The important thing with that is, let's say that you have a SteelSwarm Roach out and your opponent wants to make a legendary 6 Samurai Shian. If they don't have any other 6 Samurai monsters, they cannot activate a card like the Magatama, because Magatama must be activated only if you control a face-up 6 Samurai monster. Since SteelSwarm Roach negates the summon, the Shian never gets to touch the field, therefore you wouldn't be able to activate Magatama. Just the same thing with Geyseris. This one is a contact fusion, and that can be negated by Roach. So that said, yes, you couldn't activate like War Chariot unless you controlled another Gladiator beast. So keep that in mind, that's important as well. Now, Roach only negates inherent special summons. What that means is it's basically whatever Thunder King can negate, Roach can negate as well. So if you guys didn't know, Thunder King can only negate certain things. Like, for example, Thunder King cannot negate something like a Starlight Road, which special summons a Stardust Dragon. Sure, that would special summon it, but they really need to help out, you know, other players with the wording on cards. Even myself, sometimes on these wording on cards, sometimes certain cards, like Bayou has certain exceptions for the rules of the Yu-Gi-Oh game, and there are cards that just have certain rules applied. But that said, I'm going to go over some of the more popular cards that are in inherent special summons, which means Roach can, as in yes, he can negate these. All these here that are here above, like Judgment Dragon, BLS, Grapha, Light Pulsar Dragon, any of the Elemental Lords, Dark Arm, either one of the Cyber Dragons. I don't know why I picked 2 of them. We only need 1. Chaos Sorcerer. Those are all inherent special summons. However, if you are bringing some of these monsters back, keep in mind you cannot, you know, activate Monster Reborn on Dark Arm Dragon. But if you want to activate Monster Reborn on, let's say, a Cyber Dragon, if you Monster Reborn Cyber Dragon, Roach cannot negate that because Monster Reborn is essentially the card that's bringing back Cyber Dragon. Basically, Roach can stop anything that doesn't start a chain. And another popular card I've seen a lot of the times where people try to activate Roach on is something like Gorz or Tragodia. These have an effect, so essentially you cannot activate Roach because it's not inherent. They start a chain in the hand. For what, I didn't know that Tragodia was an effect. Like, even for myself, I thought you dropped this on a Dolka, it was no problem, but yeah, Tragodia does start a chain in the hand, so therefore you cannot use SteelSwarm Roach against Tragodia, and you cannot use it against Gorz. Some other things, yeah, Roach cannot negate Starlight Road. It can negate a Synchro Summon. It can negate all the Synchro Summons, essentially, as long as they're, you know, being Synchro Summoned properly. Like, Starlight Road is not technically Synchro Summoning Stardust Dragon properly. Any Call of the Haunteds, yeah, anything that just, like, brings a monster back from the graveyard, Roach cannot negate that. Also, something like Mermail Abyss Megalo, which is a very popular card as well. This card cannot be roached. It's an effect. And therefore you can Mind Crush it, which is awesome, and you can also Chain Maxi. But yeah, Roach cannot negate Abyss Megalo. Cannot negate Reborn, which went over. It cannot negate the effects of essentially of another card that brings out another card. So if you attack into Mystic Tomato and Mystic Tomato gets out Snape Snatch, you cannot use Roach's effect to get over Snape Snatch. I'm sorry, Roach. Snape Snatch, it wins this time. A Bowtie with horrible power. It attacks an opponent by controlling others. Very strange card. That said, yeah, it cannot negate Troda and Gorz. And also, again, what I'm trying to get at with Roach is Roach cannot negate cards that, you know, essentially bring out the card that is essentially being summoned. Even though it says would be special summon, they really need to fix this wording on. It just helps the players, you know, it definitely would help. I actually checked. I thought this was a new wording, but this is actually how it's worded. I hope in the 10 version they will reword it so it only says inherent, and then they should like put in the rulebook what is an inherent special summon. It would help the game out a lot. But yeah, pretty much any Synchro Summon is basically considered an inherent summon. Any XYZ summon is considered an inherent special summon, as long as, again, it's done properly, which means you actually, you know, bring out the card properly, unlike something like Starlight Road, or what is that, Bahamut Shark? This card right here, Bahamut Shark. This card, when you summon Bahamut Shark, yeah, that's an inherent special summon. But when you activate his effect, that level, rank 3 or lower water XYZ monster, that is not an inherent special summon. So you couldn't use Roach on, well, it's bringing out XYZ anyways. XYZs are not levels, they're ranks. I know, it's even more confusing for the game that's already confusing. But that said, I think we went over some of the most popular cards that are inherent special summons. If you guys would like to leave more inherent special summons that are kind of in the meta, leave them down below, and you can help out some of the other players that would like to know rulings with Roaches. But I think I covered most of the popular ones, because these are pretty much, I'd say, well, Dark World is still popular, and Chaos Dragons, still popular, and, you know, every deck plays BLS, and, well, almost every deck. Every Chaos deck, yeah, they'll of course play BLS. But I'd say those are the important cards that are seen in the meta that Roach can negate, as well as, you know, the cards that are in the meta that Roach cannot negate, like Abyss Megalo. So I hope this helps you guys out that are looking forward to playing Roach. Now you guys can get a better understanding of what Roach can and cannot negate. And the most important one is Roach cannot negate Gores, because this happens all the time when I pull out Roach and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I drop Gores on their Roach, and they're like, no, negate. I'm like, no, you can't. It has an effect. But yeah, that said, don't worry if you have problems with rulings. Even myself, I'll admit I've had problems with Yu-Gi-Oh! Rulings too, because this game is kind of confusing. You guys all gotta admit that. But I hope I helped you guys out with some of the rulings. But yeah, if there's any more inherent or non-inherent special summons that you guys know of, let me know in the comment section below, because I think it would help out a lot of the players as well as in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. But thanks for watching. Have a great day. Asian Eyes signing out.